Are you ready? Tonight is about family. The first gringo boy who smiles at you.
I never seen you before. You're not Puerto Rican.
Is that okay?
Do you want to start World War III?
Steven, can I ask you first, making this, was there anything that you changed sort of from the original, either stage version or movie version, because of modern sensibilities at all?
We were given tremendous latitude by the estates, especially by the Arthur Lawrence estate. He wrote the book West Side Story in collaboration with Jerome Robbins, Bernstein, and Sondheim. And we were given tremendous latitude to be able to deepen the characters, create more complicated relationships, create people that were more relatable to this generation than perhaps the generations of 1957 when the play was first written, when the musical was first devised. So we were given encouragement, and Tony Kushner, who I asked to adapt the play into a screenplay, Tony really drilled down into those societies and into things that really parallel the truths of today. And Tony really did an amazing job in creating a contemporary feeling story, while still keeping it in the original period.
I mean, one thing I really liked is that with the Puerto Rican scenes, that you've got them speaking Spanish with no subtitles. But did anybody question that decision?
I don't know if anybody really questioned it. I don't remember anybody saying you got to subtitle it. I felt that subtitling the Spanish would have been disrespectful to the second language in this country, and that it would immediately make English the dominant language, because then there'd be two English being spoken: the English by the characters being spoken, and the English that would write alongside or underneath the spoken Spanish words. Mm-hmm. So it was out of complete respect and to give the dignity where dignity is earned and deserves to be given.
Absolutely. Ariana, I was going to ask you, I think one of the most amazing scenes is America. So I was going to ask you both about it because it's just so beautiful. But what was that like to do? Was that one of the hardest things to film?
You know, it was challenging in some ways. It was very hot. We shot it over the span of a month, and the heat index was like 108.
That was so bad.
So I think I burned holes in my shoes at one point because the asphalt was so hot, and I was doing a lot of turning, and I wear that glorious yellow dress by Paul Tazwell. I made the mistake of asking him to build a corset in it. Mm-hmm. So, that was challenging, breathe in the heat and dance and be excellent. But the doing of it was not challenging. It was actually just a joy. I'm built to be as a triple threat, right? Like this is my skill set and my wheelhouse. So it was actually just an absolute pleasure to have material that I could just thrive in, and make my own. And Justin Peck and Patricia Delgado Peck and Craig as a choreographic team, my God, the choreography is just a revelation. And I think it does a beautiful job paying homage to what was, but also it's its own language. And it really kind of empowered all of us as Latinos to just fly and spread joy, as you see in the streets of New York, and amongst the community. And I don't think there's a single person so far that's seen it that hasn't been like, full of, just joy. And it's joy everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steven, I saw at the end of the movie that you've dedicated it to your dad. Is this a very personal movie for you?
Yeah, it is. Well, my dad and my mom brought the record home when I was 10 years old. And also my dad loves West Side Story. He's seen a number of productions of it. He was 103 and a half when he passed. And I hadn't finished the film yet, but he was kind of on the set sometimes. He'd be in LA, we'd be in New York shooting, and he'd be on the iPad on FaceTime. And he'd be able to watch the setups and watch some of the performances, and we'd bring the iPad over to the monitor so we could see the playbacks. And my dad was really invested in West Side Story, and it was the only film that he at that point, he was too elderly to travel to New York from LA. It was the only film set he has not visited. me on, the only one. He came to Poland for Schindler's List. He came to England for the Indiana Jones movies. And I just felt that he loved it so much, and I was so sad he couldn't see it that I dedicated the film to him.
It's beautiful. I have to say, I live 5 minutes from where you shot Saving Private Ryan in Hatfield. So
yeah, Hatfield. I love Hatfield. I love that whole area. I know it and love it. But in traffic, it's a long schlep back to London, I'll tell you.